I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. Hi, welcome to the program, ZayniPop. Hi.
Hi, nice to see you, Eric. How are you?
I am doing great. I'm glad to have you on. I tuned into one of your, a couple of your streams here recently, and it is so much fun to just sit there. I usually just lurk in streams beforehand, and there's so much going on.
It's so chaotic.
Yeah,
it is really, really chaotic.
It really is a lot going on. First of all, if you could, please introduce yourself to everybody.
Yes, hi. Okay. Hi to everyone listening. My name is ZayniPop. I am a soda-haired VTuber here to sweeten your life one sip at a time. And I'm so excited to be on this chat with Eric today. I've been waiting to be able to organize this chat. It's been so exciting. So I'm really, really keen that we're finally here and able to do it.
Yeah, I'm glad too. Folks, is that one of the most natural entertainer voices you've ever heard in your life? I think so. I think so. So when and why did you get started with the VTuber thing?
Oh my gosh, let me tell you. So I have only technically, quote unquote, been alive as a VTuber coming up to 2 years this year, which is very exciting. So I haven't been around for too long, but it's funny. When I first found out about VTubing, it was through a friend of mine. Mm-hmm. And I had no idea what it was before he told me about it. And we were sitting on a couch one day and he was like, "Oh my God, Zayni, I reckon you would have a really fun time as a VTuber." And I was like, "What's a VTuber?" Yeah. And that started the whole spiral of everything. Yeah. Yeah, and he was like, "I think you're kind of funny, so you should do that." And I was like, "Look, I know I can chat someone's ear off, so I've got that going for me, which is good." But it was just he randomly told me, and I was like, "Oh my God, let me have a squiz, see what it's like."
So did you look up some people first before you tried, or did you just jump right in?
I just jumped right in. Oh. It's really funny. A lot of people, in my community, they'll chat and be like, "Oh, do you know this big VTuber or this one?" And I have very limited knowledge of who is around on the ground.
Sure, I know who they are. Yeah. I had lunch with them last week. Yeah, that's
yeah. Oh my God, we actually live three roads away from each other. It's crazy.
It's nuts. We were childhood friends. Yes. So you were kind of playing catch up a little bit with what was going outside the stream, but in the meantime, you were cutting your own path.
I was. I've always loved chatting to people, and I've always loved colorful, cool characters and things. So when I heard about VTubing, I was like, "Oh my God, it's my cup of tea. Yeah. Here we go." Yeah,
and folks, you have to see the model, by the way, which is, I think, a real triumph. Folks, you got to see the model. How did you come up with the model? And was it your idea? Did you put it together or what?
So the creation of Zayni is very interesting. That friend of mine that I spoke about who got me into VTubing, he and I actually kind of were discussing themes that we thought would match me and my personality and things. Yeah. And we bounced around with a few ideas, but we ultimately settled on soda because I have crazy energy and give off this just burst of oh my everything. Energy is really just the best word for it. Yeah. So when I went to my person who created my model and did the character design, I gave overall examples of what I wanted. So I was orange hair and this length and this color eyes and these colors and stuff. But they did such an incredible job taking all my ideas and things and just putting Zayni together. And we went back and forth on it a little bit, but ultimately it was, I don't know, I think it was just both of us playing off each other and knowing the vibe that we wanted for the model. It was really, really fun.
Yeah, and you can see and hear as it's going on how perfect it is, really. I just I was really floored by it. Sometimes it takes a little while for me to kind of associate everything together, but everything was just just right. I don't know how to explain it, and I'm a person that likes
I
words. I, it,
Yes.
it just fits somehow. When there's no
Hmm.
reason to question it, there it is.
Eric, it's really funny when I first got my model made, and I've spoken about this on stream before, but I'll say it again here because it's a good story.
Yeah.
Um, when I first got my model made, I personally didn't know if my voice matched Zany, the
Hmm.
model.
Hmm.
And when I first got her, I was like, oh gosh, like she looks so sweet and cute and like, innocent and just like bubbly. And I was like, oh no, my humor might ruin her. But when I got her and I hopped on stream, everyone was like, "No, it's a perfect fit." And
Yes.
but it's funny. It's taken me a while, especially when I first got her, to really put the voice and the face together.
Yeah.
So I'm glad to know. I'm
Yeah.
glad to know that you think they match.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I was pretty much transfixed from the start with it. It's really it's really a great match, and that what you're able to do, you and maybe this is unfair, and it seems very natural how you're interacting with the chat. And maybe that's unfair to say
Oh,
that you haven't worked on it or anything, but it does seem very natural.
thank you. It's working with like talking to people for a quote unquote like job or hobby
Mm.
or anything to that regard. Talking with people is such an important step of it, and I'm very very lucky that it's something that I've fallen into very naturally. Like, of course, when you first start VTubing or content creation in the first place, there's the first time jitters of like doing it for the first, let's say, like week or month or
Right.
whichever like that. But I'm very very lucky that I've been able to fall into it, and have a lot of ease with it, and I think it helps having such an amazing community who just are like so willing to let you be silly online and things like that. But yeah, no, it's crazy. I love it.
Yeah, and you're able to be um, flexible and be able to move with what happens. It doesn't look like anything gets past you as you go. It's really a very, if you're looking like behind the scenes too at what's going on, it looks like you've really got things under control, even if you don't. So you're doing a good job of masking it.
Thank you. I was gonna say I'm like a duck under. The metaphor or the saying, the duck underwater, and it's like on the surface it looks so great and smooth and
Yeah.
and easy, and then underneath their legs are like flapping around like
Yeah.
crazy, and it's just chaos under the water.
Yes, exactly.
That's what it's like.
Yes, yes, but it really is very entertaining, and the folks will have the descriptions and the links in the descriptions for it. So, did it take very long for you to really fall for doing this once you got started?
Um, Not really, actually. It's funny because when I first started, I hopped into VTubing because I was like, you know what? I love the idea of having a community and having like a group of people that I can hang out with.
Hmm.
When I was younger, I didn't hop onto the internet very quickly, so I didn't feel like I had a space online where I kind of belonged. And you know how people have, let's say, like a fandom for a show or
Right,
things like that, where
right.
they feel like they can really belong and create connections and things like that. I didn't really have that when I was younger,
Yeah.
so when I found VTubing, I was like, oh my God, I can have a group of friends. Like I can find people online, I can chat to people. And it's like that's one of my main things that I've always been very, very happy and always strive to do, just to have a space where people can be themselves and have fun and create connections and make friends and come in and just be silly and
Yeah.
the internet and the world can be a scary place sometimes. So I like the idea of having a space where it's like everything's okay.
Hmm.
We're here just celebrating soda and fun vibes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
very comfortable yet zany as your name is at the same time.
there you go.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about.
Yeah. Absolutely. And so you got to tell me, with that instrument you've got there and that voice, um, when did you realize that you had a voice that was going to be able to communicate with people effectively?
Oh my gosh, what a great question. So my first job when I was just an itty bitty little soda,
Hmm.
I was like walking around and I had a manager actually walk up to me and be like, wow, you've got a really like interesting voice and the way that you like talk to people and stuff. Like you go zany, little tiny little zany, go nuts. And I was like, "Oh wow, I have like a cool voice. That's cool." And I've always had people saying that they like my voice, which is such a compliment, by the way. Thanks, guys, to whoever's listening.
Yes.
But you know, I definitely know that I've always had a voice that stands out because
Yeah.
it's very loud. It's with my accent. It's like a weird twang, and yeah, I don't know. People have always kind of just like gravitated to that, and
Mm.
I've always just been like a talker in general. So communication wise. I don't know. I've always worked in, jobs and things where I've been customer facing or front facing because I'm always like, hey, you,
Right.
let me help you.
Come buy this car.
yes, yes, come get it. Eat
Yeah.
this ice cream. Do
Yes.
whatever you need.
That's
Come
right.
buy this gift card or,
Yeah.
whichever.
Yeah, I would have given you, if I was still hiring in radio, I'd give you every chance to not make any money.
Incredible. I love it.
And you'd have hated me for the rest of your life.
Oh, look, it's fine. I get it. I'd be like, you know what? Let me go over here and I'll do something else.
Yeah,
It's all good. You got to be adaptable. You got to move.
Oh,
Whatever.
you definitely have to. But really, it's a very disarming feature that you have, and that breaks down so many walls immediately and makes it
Mm.
and to be able to hear you smile as you talk about it, um, absolutely, whatever thought someone would have turning on the stream, it's whatever is bothering them is just going to be blown
Mm.
away.
Oh, thank you. That makes me happy to hear. I love that kind of stuff. Like
Yeah.
my mom when I was younger, she whenever I'd like go to a job or go to school or whatever, she would always say, "Okay, put on your work hat or put on your school hat or whatever." It's like a metaphorical hat where if you're having like a crappy day and you're feeling bad and stuff and you're down
Right.
in the dumps and you have to go to school, let's say, my mom would be like, "All right, well, take off that hat and now you have to put on your school hat or now you have to put on your work hat." And it's like no matter what has happened before, I am here. I'm going to have a good time. I've got my hat. You can hear my smile through the phone call or through the whatever.
Yeah.
And there you go. And just try and have the best day you can and with your hat. And then you can come home and you can take it off and, sink into your couch or whatever you need to do. But
Calgon, take me away at that point.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So, is that you all the time, or is there actually times when it's not you?
That is me pretty much a lot of the time, at least. I like anyone, when you get home and you're around family, that kind of stuff, you might let your hat slip a little bit or let yourself feel like you can just be yourself hanging out,
Wow.
relax and say, "Hey guys," and blah blah. But 99% of the time I'm very much this way. Very loud, very intense.
That's it.
Yeah, I've always just kind of been this way.
Yeah. Well, it saying that, it means, to me, it sounds like this particular medium is built for you.
Mm.
I mean, it just kind of is waiting for you.
Oh,
Whenever,
I see.
whenever you're ready, we're ready to go. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. It's like, all right, Zany.
Yeah.
Whenever you're good to go, and I'm
Yeah.
just like in the corner frothing it,
Yeah.
like, I'm ready.
I'm
Get me
ready.
out there.
Get me out there, coach. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, take me off the bench.
Put me in the game, coach. It really it's just amazing to hear. And do you feel, now that you've got into this for a while now, that you have been able to fulfill a potential maybe that you hadn't been able to before?
Mm. I did not know whether I was going to do well in streaming or anything like that. I first got into it and still have been at the moment. I'm in it as like a hobby, but I have been sorry.
No, I said, yeah. I was agreeing with you.
Oh, sorry. I did not know how it was going to go. All I knew was really that like I enjoyed talking, and I was like, "Hey, look, I'm in a point in my life where I don't have like a lot of connections, and I'm craving connection. I'm craving talking to people and that kind of stuff." So I was like, "You know what? Let's just put ourselves out there, and if we get out there and it doesn't work out, then there's no issues at all. Like it's always just, a turning point and just try and see how you like it." And I've been absolutely like blown away by the amount of support and, love and community that's been able to find me in my very short 2 years. I know that, it's been a very short amount of time, and I've been very, very lucky in that regard. So I'm just like so thankful to everything, and that it's worked out at least so far.
Well,
It could change, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
well, I mean, I don't see how. It's and it seems like your chat has really been very supportive too. And when you first realized that they were coming back for you and your personality and and not necessarily what you were doing, but the game you were playing or but they were coming back because they like being around you. How did that hit you when you realized it?
Eric, it was wild.
Mm.
It was wild. So my debut, right,
Mm.
was filled to the brim with scuff or like technical issues, right? Just the worst. When I first went live on my debut, I was like, okay, I don't know, like I've never done it before, but there's a lot of people showing up because I was able to garner like a little bit of a community before I even went live, which was insane in the first part, right? And so my debut started, and I was like, okay, I've got this fun idea. I'll start off screen, and then I'll like poke on screen, and it'll be like this big reveal of like my model. Yeah, it'll be great. And then when I went live and I pulled my model off screen, everything broke and froze, and my model froze for like 15 minutes. And I just sat there being like, oh God, no, I have to just sit here and try and talk to people now. Like, but my model, she's not moving. What am I going to do? Anyway, it was terrible. And eventually she moved. But that's what happens with VTubing and that kind of stuff. Like, especially in Australia and when you have horrible internet. It just sucked. But it was an amazing debut. I loved it. Everyone was very supportive, like you said.
Yeah, I've been glad to be able to talk with a lot of folks from Australia during these interviews, and to a person, it's boy, we wish really could have all really good internet down there.
Yeah, it's always a struggle.
Yeah,
it's a nationwide struggle.
And I'm always like, if some guy out there or some woman could come up, or anybody, a penguin, I don't care, could come up with a really good internet for Australia, they could be king.
They would be rich.
Yes.
They would be rich. Australians would pay top dollar for good internet across, countries and that kind of stuff. It would be insane. It would be amazing.
They would be so thankful. It would just be, they just rename the country, Eric Land or something. I don't know, but Loyberg. I don't know what they're going to call it, but
incredible.
If you could do it, because really, there are a lot of VTubers now coming from Australia. A lot of very talented folks too. Have you noticed that?
Oh, there are so many really talented people. And it's funny because whenever I see a VTuber or I meet a VTuber online, I'm like, oh, they must be in America, and a lot of them are. But there have been a few Australians that come into my chat and they're like, are you from Australia too? And I'm like, oh my God, it's this little, metaphorical. You can imagine it if you close your eyes. We like come together and clasp hands and we're like, ee! And like jumping around holding hands, like, yay, another Australian,
And it's kind of like you have the English market cornered in that part of the world, a lot of it, and I do get a chance to talk with a lot of folks that are either English is the first language or very near their first language in that area, but and it's such a strange time zone thing. Has that played into your streams every once in a while?
Look, well, the Australian time zone sucks for American audiences.
Yes.
99% of my community, whenever I'm like live, for example, I went live recently and I stayed up for a very long time, right? And
Yeah.
I was live and they were like, "Oh my God, Zany, what time is it for you?" And I went, "Oh, it's like 3 a.m. for me." And they were like, 3 a.m. But most people will come on, and if they're American or, UTC time zone or whichever time zones,
Yeah.
because I don't have them memorized at the moment,
Yes.
most of them will come on and they're like, "Hey, you're live." And I go, "What time is it?" And they're like, "Oh, it's 4 a.m." And I'm like, "Why are you awake right now? Oh my God, go to bed." So, yeah, it's funny. A lot of my community do that. And I'm like, "Why are you awake watching me?"
Yes.
And there's so many people who will come on and be like, "It's Zany stream." And I'll go, "Guys, it's literally like 3 a.m. for you." And they're like, "No, it's 5 a.m."
Yeah,
Like,
it's even worse.
what do you mean?
And then,
Yeah, I'd be like, "I'd be in bed. Good night."
yes. Well, that's even better, isn't it? I mean, that's got to boost the ego.
Oh, it definitely does.
Yeah. I mean,
I appreciate it like crazy.
the hat size goes up a couple of notches when something like that happens.
Oh, 100%. I've got my thumbs in my belt buckle and I'm like swinging myself around a bit like, "Hey, yo, my God, they're so kind."
Like walking like the Monopoly man at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's when you realize that, you also might get a feeling of responsibility for them.
Hmm.
And has that ever happened where you're kind of like, all right, I don't know what I'm going to be doing, but I need to come up with something because these people are going to be there for me. But blah 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 blah.
Oh, 100%.
Mm.
100%. There have been times that I've been really, really nervous because I haven't gone live for a while, because, personal responsibilities or, other
All
stuff
those
happening.
stupid things.
And yeah, and I've like sat on my chair in front of my OBS like waiting to go live, and I've just sat there being like really nervous because it's like I don't know if I have the energy to be able to do everything tonight, or I don't know about anyone else, but I sometimes get kind of like nervous about the fact that I don't know if people will find me funny tonight or
Yeah.
anything like that because my energy might not be there and blah blah. But then
Right.
I hop on stream and I might come on and be like, "Hey guys, oh gosh, I'm having a day," and they instantly will like lift my spirits and be like, "Zany," and hop on, and it's just such like a beautiful moment to have community around who are excited to have you around, and it's like, oh well, how can you stay sad, or how can you be in a weird headspace when you've got so many beautiful people waiting and excited to chat to you? And it's just like, oh, and then, the feeling of responsibility drifts away when you hop on because it's like, they're just such beautiful people and they come on and they're so kind and giving time and energy to you. And it's like, what did I do to deserve this? So it's just beautiful.
Yeah, the synergy that it creates is something that cold fusionists would love to find out what it's all about,
Mm-hmm.
because it feeds on itself. But if you've got like boundaries set and everybody knows it and everybody's fine with it and everybody is comfortable with each other, because comfortable is a
Mm-hmm.
major word when it comes to this. It
Oh yeah.
is such an organic, natural feeling that,
Oh, it's so beautiful,
yeah,
isn't it?
it is. It really is. And you just kind of settle in like an easy chair, and it's second nature, and it's not a job. It's not a task. It's something that you're looking forward to, and not even that so much as just that it's something that I do.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
and I don't know if folks who haven't been able to get out in front of an audience or perform, and I consider you guys, you VTubers, performers. And
Hmm.
even if you don't, I'm going to do it anyway because I'm old and I can do what I want. But when I was on the radio and doing these stuff, it was a performance. Um,
There's a certain amount of work you have to put into it that
yeah,
I don't think a lot of people realize when you first hop into any type of content creation, whether it's like radio or
yeah,
VTubing or
right.
voice acting or whatever it is.
You can have all the
Yeah,
natural talent in
there's
the
a
world and not be able to do it correctly. And um,
yeah.
yeah, and if you are able to. there's that's a frustrated because I can't figure out the right word. There is
Mm,
a an undefinable type of feeling that somebody gets when, and somebody doesn't have to have the greatest voice in the world, maybe doesn't have the
mhm,
greatest way of playing a game, not even the greatest personality, but that undefinable thing. the
No, I get what you mean.
and when that hits, it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, it's like a certain type of like spark.
Mm.
There's like a spark to like the soul. It sounds really silly when I say it that way, but there's like a yeah, you get in a moment and everyone's so excited and it's like, you know what? And there's just this energy that comes out and it's so exciting and it's so addictive and it's
Yeah.
yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Intangible is the word I'm looking for. Intangible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It really, and it's if it's not definable, it's not bottleable. You can't get it from Mexico over the border. You
Mm,
can't get any of that stuff
mm,
because it's not something you can manufacture. And
no.
and there are folks out there who I've interviewed and do extremely well who don't have the greatest voices,
Yeah.
but they're so personable and they're
Hmm.
very disarming, and just that little bit is enough to make it an enjoyable experience for everybody.
100%.
Yeah,
Couldn't have put it better myself.
yeah, yeah. Well, who could? um, sorry, ego slipped there just a moment. After all those
No,
years in
go
radio,
nuts, go nuts.
after all those years in radio and having the ego beat down, it was as I get older, it's trying to escape again.
No, go nuts. Hey, hey, I'm always here for a little bit of an ego boost. Go nuts. What do you need? I can give it to you.
Well, I want to know what your plans are now that you've got things rolling. You're having fun with
Oh,
it. You've got your. I mean, it's a raucous caucus when you're on. What
mm.
what do you want to do?
I don't know.
And that's been our interview
I
tonight.
it's funny. I started VTubing just for fun and all that kind of stuff. And I'm very much the kind of soda who you know, starts things as like a hobby and then accidentally starts to make it into a job without meaning to.
Mm,
So
yeah,
like I'll go really hardcore on something and be like, yeah, I'm gonna do this as a hobby and do that. And then here I am almost 2 years into VTubing and I've already I've already put out two or almost put out two versions of like merch and
mm,
done this and been excited because I just love merch and I'm like, I'd love to be able to do that. And I'd
yeah.
love to be able to do this. And I've got a project in the works. And I'm like, whether I would ever have done that without VTubing, couldn't tell you. Probably not. But,
Yeah.
so it's very much just like a whatever I feel like I can get my hands on and see if I can do it, I'm going to do it. But I don't have any like major plans at the moment. It's just kind of like, play games and whatever projects I kind of feel like I want to do and pop into my mind, they'll probably end up happening and then that's it. But like I don't have any major plans with it other than to just keep creating communities and a space for people to come together.
Just
I
just
don't know.
just grab the bat and can randomly swing at things as they come on.
Yeah, yeah, just free ball it. Let's go. See what I can do and just I don't know, see what falls into my lap. So long as it's fun and I have a good
And
time.
there you go.
Let's see.
That's the biggest thing. And how about collaborations? Have you been able to do a lot of those?
I have. I've actually made a fair few friends through collaborations. I haven't been able to do a crazy amount due to the time zone issues,
Mm.
and me having like the 9 to 5 during the week.
And the internet being,
And
what it is.
y- yeah, and
Um,
like quite a while ago, I had a second job on the weekend, so like I didn't have a lot of time to be able to work with that. But I am really keen. I've got a few friends that I really want to play games with or collab on like different events and projects and things like that. But it's really just like people who are kind of on my level of how they view VTubing and that kind of stuff.
yeah.
Like usually just kind of hobbyists.
Mm.
But yeah, I'd love to do more. I always love chatting with people and making new friends and stuff. So I would love to.
Yeah. I just see it being a win-win-win-win all the way around. Because the energy that you bring to it would be amazing.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I'm very chaotic.
yeah. Um, does your when you have been able to do the collaborations, do your or does your or do you does your chat mix well with other chats?
They do. I feel like my chatter are they're all very lovely people, so they're always very good like that, and they're very welcoming.
And
It's
they
really
wear
funny
nice
though. Yeah.
hats and they have nice shoes and I'm gonna pat them on the head.
Exactly. Exactly. They're little dapper little
Yes.
sippers. But no, it's interesting because whenever I do streams by myself, a lot of my community are able to come around.
Hmm.
And then when there's collabs, there's actually usually less people that rock up, which is absolutely fine. Like I don't have an issue with that. So
Yeah.
it's like the smaller amount of community that come together but they're always lovely and they're like such good minglers. They're really, really good with just getting in on crowds and being like, hi,
Yeah.
and introducing themselves. So it's, yeah, they're always really good.
You know,
They're really good.
that was I just came to an idea and my headset fell off, that's why I didn't respond right.
Oh,
It happens every once in a while. But
no. Yeah.
well, you mentioned that sometimes you don't have the same amount of people there. Maybe they just want to see you and not anybody else.
Maybe. And some people are very much like that. And I mean, hey, more power to you. Like, I think there's a certain amount of connection that you get with individual streams where it is just you and the streamer. I know a lot of my community say that they enjoy watching smaller streamers purely because there is a lot more engagement and interaction between you, the viewer, and the streamer themselves.
Right.
And when it comes to collaborations, especially for myself, I have a very, very hard time chatting with my friend or my collaborator playing the game and then keeping up with chat because I'm not super technologically savvy. So I'm always like, I can't talk to my chat and, say, hey, when I can't mute myself in games so that, my collaborator isn't having me in their ear chatting and being like, hi,
Yeah.
Denzel, thanks for coming in, so I'm sure it's probably to do with that. And I completely understand it and hold no issue toward it. I'd probably do the same. I'd be like, no worries. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
But they come
yeah,
back.
no, it's fun.
But they come
Yeah,
back, and that's the big thing is they're continuing to come back and support you, and be a
that's
part of
it.
this community that when you started, you probably didn't even think that much of, as you just got
No.
you're like I'm going to see what I can do, and now you've got this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I've done a fair few things on the internet pre-VTuber life. So
Hmm.
there are a few people who know me from before I was ZayniPop.
Yeah.
And they kind of followed me over. But like, I'm going to say maybe 95, maybe 96% of my community are all people who have found me while I've been doing VTubing.
Yeah. Yeah. And that isn't that
Mm.
isn't that something? It's
Oh, it's wild.
and from all over the world.
Mm, literally.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
You thought you could hide in Australia, but no.
I know. I know. They're all like, "Oh my God, Zane, you do a stream where you walk around and show us grass." And I'm like, "But what if there's that one guy on the internet who can like pinpoint where you are by a single blade of grass?"
Oh yeah, yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know if I want that happening.
yeah, yeah. Although depending on where you are in Australia, grass isn't always available. I guess.
That's true.
Yeah, if you're in like in the middle, it's kind of a little tough to get grass in that area.
That's
Um,
true.
I
That's true.
I
Look at the red sand and be like, "Oh God."
yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, we have red soil in Georgia. You could be in Georgia in the United States. I mean, there's
I
less,
could.
wallabies in Georgia, but
Mm,
there's a few, but not very many. They tend to stay in the
yeah,
hills.
right.
Um, so I see. What type of games are you normally playing when you're on?
I like to say that I play every game, but
Yeah.
I've got a certain genre that I always go back to. Like one of my top favorite games that I've been playing is Stardew Valley. I'm so obsessed with it. It's actually
Oh,
insane. But
that is my
like,
weakness.
oh, it's so
It
good,
is
isn't it?
it is
But
kryptonite. I can't get near
yeah.
it anymore.
Oh,
I have
it's so addictive.
I have 30 save files.
Oh my god. No way.
I
That's
do.
so good.
I do have
Uh
30 save files, and
wait, I have a question. Who do you always romance then?
um
I gotta know.
Maru.
Maru! A Maru enjoyer. I've never met one in person. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Hi.
because this is gonna sound awful. Because she gives me the better stuff in the morning sometimes.
That's incredible. Yes. Honestly, vibes. That's
Yeah.
that's the best.
I found this. Oh, it's a bomb. Thank you. I can use that. as a,
Oh wow, I can take that to the mines. That's
as
wonderful.
opposed to one cup of coffee. I'm like, yeah, I can use that for 20 seconds. Thank you very much.
Yes, honestly. Yep, yep.
Yeah,
Choosing your partner in Stardew is such a specific thing.
it
Like
is.
it depends on the character, what they give you,
Yeah,
all that kind of stuff. It's
yeah,
it's incredible.
yeah. It is. And when I first started playing it, you couldn't marry all the people you can now.
Really?
Yeah, there was oh gosh, it's been so long now.
Mm.
The parrot lady you couldn't marry, and
Oh no?
no, and you couldn't marry the doctor.
My man, Harvey?
Nope, nope.
Oh,
And
I
that
love
came
him.
on. That was like one of the updates. And I since the last big update a year and a half ago, I haven't played because if I did, I'd never be able to interview anybody.
Yep, that's fair. I feel that it's like a little void. It just sucks you in. It's
Oh,
incredible.
and people don't understand if you haven't played it because you have to stay on because the cauliflower is going to be ripe tomorrow. You have to keep playing.
It's going to be ready in just a day or two.
Yes.
And then on top of that, you have to go and take care of all of your animals and this and that. And
Yeah.
yeah, no, I get it.
And
I so get it. Oh my
and
God.
it's supposed to rain tomorrow, and it's the only time you can get that certain fish.
That's right.
Oh,
Oh my God.
it's
It's
hard
so
to.
addictive.
I don't know how
It's
people don't understand that. Jeez.
I know. Isn't it wild? Like going on and being like, oh my God, I have to spend 12 hours playing this game. And anyone who doesn't play the game is like, are you okay? Do you need someone or an intervention? It's like, no, no, no. Trust me. I'll just be on for another 4 days. It's fine.
I'm really surprised that there isn't somebody who's come on with like a fishing show, how to fish in Stardew Valley, and just like have a half hour of them just fishing, like you were like the fishing shows you have in the United States on television. And when I go to
Yeah,
fish,
yeah.
I use the magic bait because it's the only way you can get. Sponsored
Yeah,
by.
get that wild bait from Linus. Go on, go get it.
Yeah, make sure you use the right bug juice to do that sort of thing.
I would watch that. That'd be great.
People at home are like, "What are you talking about, old man?" Don't worry about it. Play
Yeah,
the
they're
game.
like, people watch you do that? And
Yeah.
you're like, hey, you got your things, I've got mine.
Are you kidding?
Let's just
I keep watching it because there's got to be something I missed. You know? Like,
There's so many. Oh my God. Anyway, there's so many tips and tricks. I've been
yeah.
playing it for not super long, but anytime there's a video like how to in Stardew, I'm like,
Yeah.
well, there we go.
Yeah.
There's the rest of my afternoon blocked out.
Yep. Pull up a chair. Pull up some chips. I'm ready to go. I'm all set.
Yeah.
So do you play with mods or are you playing just the regular game?
No, I'm just vanilla. I'm
Yeah.
just vanilla. I'm not talented enough or in the know enough to install mods. No way.
Me neither. And I just play with the regular one. But I do cheat, but I do play with the regular one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, do you?
Well, yeah. There's ways to cheat. I'll tell.
Is
you.
there?
I'll tell you off the air. Um.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't want everybody to know, but there is ways to cheat.
Oh yeah, fair.
Yeah.
No, let's gatekeep it. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. If you ever was in radio for any period of time, you know how to gatekeep. That's the only way you keep your job sometimes.
That's incredible.
No,
Oh
young
my God,
man.
it's just a part of the rodeo, you guys.
That's right. No, young man, you can't go in that studio. It's only for people over age 30.
Yeah. Oh, darn. Maybe in another 6 years.
Yeah.
Go on.
No young intern with a better voice than me. You can't do this. I've got to do it myself.
Yeah,
Um,
please. You can sit there and fiddle with the dials that
That's
aren't
right.
connected to anything. Yes.
Yes, exactly. They're the ones that you prank call from the other room every time that you get a chance. Um, and somehow they still end up making more money than I did. Karma coming back. It's absolute pleasure talking with you, and I've really looked forward to this since seeing your stream, because there's just something about the energy that you bring and your personality, and everything just comes together in a perfect entertainment package. And
thank you.
It's just I was like, if I don't have fun talking with ZayniPop, I ain't gonna have fun talking with anybody.
That's a high bar to set. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because it's just the truth. And folks, we're gonna have the descriptions, the links in the descriptions. But do yourself a favor and set your alarms over here to 3:00 in the morning. and
sacrifice your sleep schedule.
sacrifice your sleep schedule and anything else that you like to sacrifice to check out to see what ZayniPop has going, because really there is so much there, and you will absolutely enjoy yourself. I have no doubts about that.
Oh, thank you.
You got it.
Thank you for having me. I've had a blast.
I have absolutely had a blast. You got to come back, and if anything at all, you get anything going, do a charity stream, anything, you got to let me know so we can update everybody, okay?
That sounds amazing. I will definitely let you know. Thank you.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. Anything I can do to add an old man voice to it, let me know too.
Beautiful. I'm sure we'll fit you in somewhere.
Now, you've been talking to my wife. It's nice because I haven't been able to talk to her all day.
Oh no! Get off the interview. Let's go. Let's go see your wife.
Yeah, better do that pretty quick. Thank you again so much, Zayni. It's just been so much fun.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm so keen for everyone to listen and have fun. And hey, you the viewer, if you haven't listened to any of the other incredible interviews that Eric has done, you should absolutely have a squiz, because I looked into one of them before. It's such a vibe. It's so much fun. So I feel like you guys will really, really enjoy. So have a bit of a squiz there too, okay?
Oh, gosh.
Please?
Oh gosh, I'm blushing. Thank you so much.
There you go. You're welcome.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.